And then this one was funny. Dude looks like he could be your dad. Ooh, daddy.
There's nothing convenient or easy about this whole setup, so, there's trade-offs. Because the Philippines passport is so weak, I like to think I was a little bit charming. Jesus.
Your husband, he's not my husband yet. Of course, he found a younger Filipino.
So this time we are in the Philippines, and we were supposed to be taking a trip to the island of Bohol, but we got mucked around by the airline, who I won't mention. So because our flights got cancelled, we wanted to make a video that's slightly different today. We had the unexpected event of Angel's reel, one of Angel's reels getting a hell of a lot of attention online. It's up to 1.7 million views. Don't know why, but it's proved popular. So that with that level of attention comes a lot of comments, and we wanted to respond to some of them today. And I think it's interesting to note, first of all, that the overwhelming number of contributors were very positive. But positive comments don't make funny stories. So we appreciate them, but we're going to talk about the other ones that were less positive.
We'll play the reel while we're laughing at it. We'll play the actual reel.
Yeah.
So it should be somewhere here, maybe here while it's playing. Just like doot doot. Anyway, okay. So first comment that I wanted to share with you guys, and he picks you up on the train. Facepalm emoji.
Right.
Pick her up in the car. Where is the class?
Well, fair. Two things. First of all, who's that? Are they telling us to check out?
But they're probably gonna remind
Oh, they
us.
stopped.
Of it.
All right. Two things. All right. First is I don't actually have a car. That is through choice because I sold it. I mean, I didn't need it. I live very close to the airport, to the city, and to the beach, and I just wasn't driving my car very often, so I got rid of it. The train to the airport is literally 2 train stops. It's a 5-minute trip. So not only is it convenient and easy, it is earth friendly.
Okay.
Good. That's not why. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay. Super quick commercial break. Next question. Who paid for the flight?
I'll let you answer that.
No, a lot of people assume that James pays for everything, which is very rude. He does not. We're both earning pretty well for ourselves. So
Righto. You have a good job. I have a good job.
Yeah.
We're able to manage.
yeah.
And with the, actually, there's a story behind this kind of where when we first went out, which was more than a year ago now, Angel said she was going to come and visit me in Sydney. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Sure you will. But then one day she calls me, he's like, oh, I'm just processing my tourist visa to come visit you in Australia. So, she did that all on her own, and I was like, oh, okay. Maybe I should take this girl a bit more seriously. And then she booked a flight to come and visit me a few months later, all by herself. And then what happened? The flight got cancelled or something, and they gave you a free option to change the date.
Yeah.
So we moved it to
earlier.
to earlier. And that was a bit of a turning point because, that's when I guess started to pay a bit more attention to the relationship or the potential for a relationship. Now, the reality is going back and forth between countries, it requires, a joint pool of resources to make it, possible. It's, it's expensive, it's time consuming, and depending on the frequency and the timing, that cost fluctuates. And so we both contribute to various trips at different times.
Yeah. Because actually, what we don't get to show people is how we take turns like going to and from each other. So like now it's James's turn to go to Manila. So next is my turn to go to Australia afterward. But why would we explain that to everybody? Like who really cares, right? Who cares?
Anyway,
So,
bottom line is
yeah.
it's a team effort.
Yeah.
It's a lot to fly, but also the person who's putting the time in is also, it's disruptive to your life.
Yeah.
And to work it around work, sometimes taking time off and, yeah.
Apart from the money side of things.
Yeah, so
there's
there is more
also
to
that.
it.
Yeah, not just that. Okay, so guys, please stop asking who pays for the flights. I think you wanted to address this one. Passport bro spotted.
Oh, yeah. Well, I actually didn't know what a passport bro was until about a year ago.
Yeah.
I don't think I meet the definition because, one, I used to live in the Philippines for about 5 years. I think that predates the passport bro movement, although that's just a new name for something which has probably been around for decades. So no, my presence in the Philippines has always been because of work rather than me coming here for the specific purpose of finding a future wife.
Yeah.
But I'm also, you never know what's around the corner and you never know who you might meet. So open-minded, whether I'm here, whether I'm back in Australia. So,
And whatever country, actually, it doesn't really matter.
yeah.
Like, you won't know who you like. Like, you
And-
might be somewhere else and, find somebody
Yeah.
that you actually like.
Yeah, and I think some of my earlier reservations to get into a serious relationship with someone overseas is
Yeah.
because it complicates the shit out of your life.
Yeah.
Now, when I lived here for a long time, I always sort of said, well, I'm never going to put myself in that position because it's hard. And, after we initially met, it took many months for us to get to a point where it's like, we're either going to do this or we're not. And it was at least 6 months of us sort of figuring out whether we were going to put ourselves in this position. But it got to a point where it just didn't become a debate anymore. It just seemed like the only thing or the only right thing to do. And it's actually been all right. It's been pretty manageable. Yeah.
We planned it well enough
Yeah.
in those 6 months so that we don't need to talk about it anymore. It was just like a mutual understanding.
So no, not a passport bro. But from my dating experience in Western and non-Western countries, I can understand why the passport bro movement is gathering steam. So good luck out there, boys. Just don't be an arse. Yeah. Don't be a dick about it. Doesn't get you far no matter what country you're in. All right.
Well,
Moving on.
one that I wanted to personally address is all those people, all those Filipinos who say, like, I'll say it in Tagalog and then I'll just translate. Like, isa na naman kababayan natin ang nakaangat mula sa laylayan. So that basically means like another one of our countrymen has gotten like away from poverty. Like laylayan is like the lowest of the low. So they're basically saying that since I'm with you, like, oh, she has a ticket to a better life or something. And I'm like, what is a better life anyway?
Yeah, better than what? And it's interesting. Like we've had discussions that long term, where is the best place to live? And I mean, I'm biased. I think Sydney is the greatest city in the world. But we've discussed other places around Australia, and the answer has been I'd prefer to stay in Manila. And the funny thing about that comment is to find your real, they've obviously found your Instagram page anyway, and your Instagram page predates you meeting me, and you obviously live a very full and active life with many diverse interests. So it's all there to see, and it's got nothing to do with me.
And I don't, so like saying somewhere is better or somewhere is gonna give you a better life is very subjective. Like, who's to say that a better life is in Sydney when you're perfectly happy in Manila, for example?
Yeah. And I think the assumption is that it's a financial change in level. But like I said, you have a good job. You live in a nice area. Your place is nice. It is.
I know. And I walk to work. It's a 10-minute walk from my place to work. That's all I'm going to say. So I don't think anything is going to top that.
If you come to Australia, I don't even have a car. So... and Ubers cost way more.
There, yeah,
so
I know.
you do a lot more walking. So is that a level up or a level down? I will buy a car eventually, but
I don't know. I'm not really a car person. I sold my car basically because I'm, just gonna walk to work. So there's that.
All right, next. Are there any really nasty ones?
Yeah. Somebody commented, of course it's a white man. Asian women worship white men so much they would eat their shit if asked.
Jesus. Well, not into that. Just FYI.
And then another comment saying, so you got picked up by an older dude to get out of Philippines. Classic.
Well, she got picked up by an older dude, but not for the specific purpose of leaving. And by the way, I think there was an age-related one in there too. Saying how old I am.
Yeah.
Now, I think there's a couple of things working against us. One is you look younger than you are. Will you declare on camera how old you are?
Yeah, I'm already 30.
30, okay. And I'm 40. So 10 years, that's not outrageous.
Yeah.
In fact, that's 1 year less of an age gap than my last long-term relationship, just FYI. It was someone I met in Australia. Anyway, so yes, I'm getting old. I'm not in horrible shape for 40. But you're 30, but you can pass for way younger. I mean, look at the face. And the smile, shaves a few years off. And there's not a wrinkle in sight.
Thank you to my dermatologist. That's all I'm gonna say.
Free plug.
Free plug.
Well, you got to say what they're called for it to be a plug.
Oh yeah, I go to Ivy Clinic. Oops.
In BGC?
In Mega Mall. I got a lot of I'm getting green card vibes, but guys, there's no green card in Australia.
Yeah, no green card in Australia. Australia has a fairly generous immigration policy.
Yeah.
Especially since COVID. You could get in being a student pretty easily from what I hear. Yeah, I don't really know. You know more about visas than I do.
Yeah.
Because with a Philippines passport, you need a visa to go everywhere. But you had no trouble getting a Australian tourist one. Living will be a different story, but we'll see how things develop and which one would be most appropriate. I don't know if that had anything to do with the question. Did it?
No, not really.
What was the question?
Green card.
Oh, the green card thing. So no question. Just green cards don't exist in Australia. You need a work permit.
You know,
which is
if
the same thing, I guess.
If I really wanted a green card, aka like a permanent resident visa for Australia, I would have done that like during our first date. I would have told him already like, oh, I really want to move to Australia, like really, really bad. But
it's coming on too strong.
Yeah. No, but like if that's my goal, then I would have, given how goal driven I am, I would have already said something. Aussie passport on the way.
For this clever girl.
You guys know that you don't get it right away too, right? Like, it takes a while before you actually get that. Maybe like 10 years or something.
It'd be many, many years. I don't know how long, but it's
Why do you guys think it takes like 5 seconds to get an Australian? Just because we met doesn't mean that I get an Australian passport right away. This one's a bit mean. Looks like his father. And then
So
I commented,
they mean her. Yeah. Well, we've covered age.
And then somebody said I was expecting a kiss, not a hug.
Oh, well, it was impromptu, wasn't planned. Natural reaction.
And do you want to address all of the previous workmates that you've had who have commented on this room?
No, not really. Hi, guys. I'm surprised they found it. Well, not that surprised.
Well, somebody said she's Filipina and getting or dating a Filipina is the easiest thing in the work. I guess he meant world. Was it easy?
All right. Well, I lived here for 5 years before, and I don't think I had a proper long-term relationship in that whole time. So, yes, you can date a Filipina, but one that you'll be happy with long-term is, takes just as much work in any other country, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I think finding a significant other in general is difficult.
Yeah, that's a genuine good match. I mean, you can find someone just to go on a date with without too much trouble.
Right.
But that's a very different proposition than, committing to a long-term thing.
I agree. And then this one was funny. Your husband, he's not my husband yet, couldn't get an Aussie, so now he's got to rent a good missus. Go back to Asia.
I don't think that word, you might think that's misspelled. That's deliberate. That's a racial slur.
A gook missus. Go back to Asia.
All right. Couldn't get an Aussie, so now he's got an Asian missus. Well, like I said, I've dated plenty of in Australia. I've dated here. I'm happy with where I ended up.
And yeah, there was another.
Can I just say that dating someone back in Australia would be a lot easier?
I'm pretty sure they know that.
There's nothing convenient or easy about this whole setup. So, there's trade-offs.
Yeah. Plus the time difference. So there's
Time
currently
difference, travel time.
Yeah, daylight
airfares.
savings is killing us right now.
On the plus side, I love to travel. So whenever we go back and forth, we can go somewhere new. Or at least I can go back to all the Philippines places that I went to a decade ago that I would like to revisit. I can see the new Boracay Casino. Be a nice new addition.
One.
Yeah. Let's not skip over this one. He looks old and gross. Now, 40-year-old, I don't think I'm that bad. I've seen 40-year-olds in worse shape. But yes, 40 years old.
James is definitely not old and gross.
Old, not totally gross.
No, you're not gross at all.
I am a little gross.
No.
All right.
Well, somebody said that I would leave you after getting permanent residency. Which I don't think I will do.
Well, that's a plus.
That's not part of the plan. Ew, he's so old.
Yes. Point taken, guys. Point taken. I'm aware. Because the Philippines passport is so weak, I'd like to think I was a little bit charming.
It is weak.
Maybe not.
It's a weak passport, but the fact that I already got a visa, then I'm pretty much fine.
Yeah, you don't need me to come to Australia. You already have access.
Yeah.
White fever plus Asian fever. That sounds very symbiotic to me. So, I don't think I have Asian fever.
I don't think I have white fever.
You're just a sweetheart. And you laugh a lot. What's not to...
Nice. I bought my wife from the Philippines too.
Jesus.
No.
Well. Well, that's I don't know what to say to that.
Oh.
Some people lead interesting lives.
Good for you, I guess.
Anyway, so bottom line. Well, there is no bottom line, really. So, I just wanted to just acknowledge again that the vast majority of comments were very supportive and a lot of people sharing their own stories of similar situations. So there's a lot of good out there. And I think a handful of bad comments from, 1.7 million views. It's actually a pretty good ratio of good people out there. So anyway, if you were one of the negative people in there, I hope you learned something today.
And I hope that this also gives a little bit of insight of how we do the long distance relationship thing. Because, you know, the other people who were doing it, like, apparently flew like 24 hours to see each other and all of that. So we must be a little bit luckier.
Yeah.
Because 8 hours is...
the 8 hours is manageable.
Shorter.
You can do 8 hours for a weekend if it's an emergency or a big event. So, you know, it's, again, it's inconvenient, it's disruptive, but it's worth it. And it hasn't been that hard. We've been doing it now for 6-7 months?
Yeah.
Couldn't do it forever, but it's not putting a strain on us. We have a good routine. Technology makes it really easy. We have projects we work on together.
Yeah.
Speak every day.
As much as we can, actually.
As much as we can. So, you know, the future is looking bright. And in the meantime, I'm more than happy to explore the Philippines again, and Angel is happy to explore Australia, and that's hopefully something that will continue on for, you know, decades to come.
So I guess I won't be getting a green card.
No. And just anything that sounds glamorous about going to Australia to get working rights. Australia is really fucking expensive. Everything is. So, you know, it's, you know, on one hand, it might sound good earning a higher wage in Australian dollars, but everything is so expensive that your disposable income is not wildly higher than what it might be here. But the big difference is, I mean, you pay more tax, but I guess the service, and a lot of Australians will disagree with me saying this, but the services are actually very, very good. The infrastructure is very good. It's clean air to breathe, which is a big plus compared to, like, at least the city areas in the Philippines. And but you're not rolling in cash because everything just costs 10 times as much. So, you know, there's two sides of every coin, no matter which place you're in.
So, is it actually better? Is a good question. But yeah, so that was good. That was really good going through the comments. But please keep watching. Please keep commenting. And tell us what you think.
Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you learned something about us. If you have any more questions about navigating this style of relationship. Style, that doesn't sound like the right word for it, but anyway, we are happy to answer questions.
We can maybe make a video out of it if we get enough comments. Similar to the reel that I had.
Oh, we can be one of those people who's like, oh, so many people are asking me to make this video. No, we're not doing that.
Thank you guys for watching. Bye. Okay. Hi guys. Good morning. Ooh, daddy.